Hello, and welcome to today's Zscaler launch event announcing new Zero Trust segmentation capabilities for branch and cloud. I'm Joyce Kim, CMO at Zscaler, and I'll be your host. Today, you'll hear from industry leaders and Zero Trust experts as they discuss how these new solutions allow organizations like yours to extend Zero Trust beyond users for branches, cloud, and devices directly. During this event, you'll have the ability to ask questions and chat with experts live. To ask a question, simply type it in the Q&A window. Finally, the main keynote will be followed by technical breakouts, which will dive even deeper into these new solutions, so don't miss those sessions. Now, it's time to get started. It's my pleasure to invite Zscaler's Chairman, Founder, and CEO, Jay Chowdhury.
Thank you, Joyce. I'm very excited about the Zero Trust segmentation launch Zscaler is doing today. I'm going to talk about the need for Zero Trust segmentation and what Zscaler is offering. You know, Zscaler always takes pride in building innovative solutions to solve some of the hardest problems. And those innovative solutions bring simplicity, better security, and lower operational costs. Let's look at the problem we are dealing with today. For the last 30 plus years, all of us have been building what I call the hub and spoke network. Data center used to be the center of gravity. We extended the data center to every branch office by building these networks. Then we wanted to work from home. We extended a data center through VPN to every household. Now we're extending it to every cloud region. And since we need to talk to our business partners, suppliers, and customers, we extend our network to every partner out there. And we secure it by building a perimeter of firewalls and VPNs. Inside, everything is secure and trusted. Outside, everything is untrusted. This model was okay when data center was the center of gravity. But now applications are everywhere, users are everywhere. This model has become a problem. I started Zscaler to reimagine the network, to reimagine security. In this new reimagination, your cloud, your data center, your plants and factories merely became destinations of applications, almost like an island. Every branch is like an island, and everything connects to the internet. We are the policy engine. We are the Zero Trust Exchange, a switchboard that connects the right party to right party without putting them on the network. In this model, you don't do network security. What is there to secure in a network? You need to secure data. Data sits either with applications or with servers or with users. By securely connecting right party to right party, that's how we secure it. It really helps you do segmentation. Let me dig a little bit deeper into the vision of the company when we started out. I knew that the most problems are happening because once people got on the network, they moved laterally and created issues. So we imagined a policy engine that sits around the globe in 100 plus data centers, so entity A can talk to entity B using business policies, not networks. What do I mean by that? Networks means ACL lists and IP addresses. Business policies means this group of people can only talk to this group of applications. That's the foundation Zscaler was built on. We did not build on firewalls and VPNs to take that technology and trying to spin virtual firewalls in the cloud. How did we think about solving this problem? Zero trust and security can be a little confusing. So I came up with a simple metaphor to explain it. There are 4 steps to rob a bank. They find all the bank branches. Suppose there are 500 branches. They find the least secure branch and break in without getting caught. Number 3, once they're inside, they move laterally. They find a cache safe. And as soon as they found the safe, they run away with it, and perhaps a getaway car is waiting for you. Cyberattacks, ransomware attacks happen the same way. Number 1, they find your attack surface. every firewall, every VPN, every application portal that's exposed to the internet is your attack surface. Then they compromise you. They find poor users or vulnerable applications, and using some of the AI-powered phishing attacks, they compromise them. Once a machine is compromised, and it's usually on the network, the bad guys move laterally. They find high-value targets, encrypt them, and ask for ransom. They don't stop there. Number 4, they exfiltrate your data, and that data often gets sent to the internet. We started Zscaler to stop bad guys at each of the 4 steps. And one of the important steps here is not putting people on the network. So I would like you to think about what's possible with Zscaler Zero Trust Exchange. So far, every legacy company talks about having your public IP addresses, securing them with firewalls and VPNs. Imagine you have no public IPs. Imagine every application's hidden behind a cloud and exchange like Zscaler. If you don't have an attack surface, you won't be breached. Number 2, we are a proxy-based architecture. We can inspect all TLS SSL traffic and find threats hidden behind it, so we prevent compromise. Number 3, this is the most important part, especially for today's discussion, being able to do zero trust segmentation. For users, imagine none of your users are sitting on a corporate network. They're simply on a guest network. That's very possible with Zscaler. Those legacy firewall and VPN vendors can't do that because their architecture is network-centric. Imagine each branch is like an internet cafe, like a Starbucks. It's like an island. That means even an infected machine in a branch can't traverse laterally and infect other things. Number 3, device segmentation inside the branch office, where one infected IoT device can infect another one. And number 4, prevent data loss. Since we are like an international airport, all traffic to the internet goes through us. We can inspect traffic and enforce policy to stop any stuff from leaking out. How do we make it happen? What is Zero Trust Exchange? I'll give you a very simple view of it. It's important because the term has been hijacked. A lot of legacy vendors are co-opting it. They all claim to do zero trust because they're spinning these firewalls as VMs in the cloud. In the zero trust architecture, your applications are merely destinations. Your users and devices are shown at the bottom. There's no routable network connecting the two. You go through our exchange. We start with identity, validating who you are, and we integrate with all identity providers. Then we can define policy, which application you can access. Then we compute risk on an ongoing basis, so we can do adaptive access policy. And then we make the connection. By doing so, your branches can become like a cafe because they are not on your network. Your users are out there somewhere. They're all untrusted. They're on a guest network. They're on whatever network, it doesn't matter. And we can do zero trust segmentation fully, even inside the branch. And I'm going to give you a little bit deeper view of how this segmentation works. That's the focus of discussion for the rest. In a traditional company, in a traditional network-based architecture, you put users on the network, then you try to segment them. In the Zscaler world, a user is untrusted. We can have a simple policy that says, out of my 10,000 employees, only these 2,000 employees can access these mission-critical applications and nothing more. We have made this thing available for our customers for quite some time, and they're doing it. They're doing it very well, which is wonderful. It keeps them safe. Today, I'm going to focus on how do we enable zero trust segmentation for your branches, for your campus, perhaps for your factory as well. First, let's start with how traditional network and security works for the branches. You got a bunch of branches. There may be small branches, maybe medium branches, maybe larger ones like campus and the like. They connect to your data center, or they connect to your regional hub, which is really like a DMZ with a bunch of firewalls, bunch of VPNs, which all these routers, switches, load balancers, and the like. and then you connect to the cloud. In this model, you got a bunch of firewalls, north, south, east, west firewalls. You got expensive switches. You got network access control, a bunch of those devices. This creates lateral threat movement. This creates cost and complexity. So what are we doing at Zscaler? We look at Zero Trust branch, which is like Starbucks. No attack surface because the branch can't be discovered from the internet. There's no lateral movement because each branch is like an island. You simply have a broadband connection or 3G, 4G, 5G Starlink connections to the internet. So in this, the first case of the branch is the branch needs to talk to external destinations. It may be internet, it may be SaaS applications. The traffic from the branch comes to us. It may be users, it may be IoT, OT devices. We are the policy engine. We inspect it, we enforce policy, and connect the right device to right application. That's a wonderful architecture, Zero Trust. Second use case, securing internal communication. That means how do these parties talk to each other? You got a bunch of devices. This is where our Zscaler Edge. It makes sure that you can actually talk to these different devices without really putting them on the network. This is where the segmentation can be inside the branch office. This set of devices can talk to this side of devices. We've done some very innovative work with the acquisition, a company called AirGap, which can simplify things and make it far more secure. And the third thing in this area is what we call secure privileged remote access, where the number of additional checks are provided to provide remote access. This could be time-bound access, and this could be a bunch of other things that need to be checked to make it happen. Once you do Zero Trust branch, north-south firewalls go away. East-west firewalls go away. You no longer need to worry about NAC kind of stuff. And even the networking side, your switches can be very simple commodity switches rather than spending a lot of money on switching type of devices. Let's talk about the next area, Zero Trust segmentation for the cloud. How is networking done in today's world? Well, when people can lift and shift network from the data center to the cloud, it looks like branches. Just like you extend your network from data center to each branch. In the traditional model, you got express routes, you got direct connects, your data center connects to those clouds. And it's essentially an extension of the network. It becomes a beautiful flat network, which means once you get on the network, you can actually traverse laterally and cause a lot of damage. And we do security in this model with north-south firewalls, east-west firewalls, and that's how we do segmentation. Fairly complex, fairly hard. It's not a good thing. It's not very secure. What do we do in the Zscaler world? There are a few types of communication the cloud workloads need to do. First of all, workloads need to talk to internet. How do people do it in the old world? With north-south firewall. In the Zscaler world, you simply point the traffic using our Cloud Connect technology to Zscaler Cloud. We enforce a policy, and your workloads can talk to internet without exposing themselves. No public IP because everything is hidden behind us. It's a point-to-point connection, goes to a proxy architecture. That means we can do advanced cyber threat protection and data protection as well. The second area is securing hybrid and multi-cloud environment. What that means is my workload may be sitting in Azure, maybe sitting in AWS. They may be sitting in the data center. We essentially can have very good policies. You can say workloads in VPC1 of AWS can talk to workloads of VPC2 in AWS, or workloads in AWS in a certain VPC can only talk to workloads in Azure in a certain VPC. That's my multi-cloud environment. Or for a hybrid, you could say applications on network segment A in my data center X can only talk to certain workloads in VPC. Very simple, elegant solution. While this is done at the VPC level, our customers wanted to go to the next level, what we call secure intra-cloud communication. That means inside the cloud, inside a given availability zone, having a policy of workloads in VPC A to workload in VPC B. Or you can go to the next level. We can read tags and labels of AWS and Azure, and you can really have a policy using those tags as identities, where you can say workload with tag A can only talk to workload with tag B. And none of this requires any additional agents or software. This is the next level of work we've done. We're using agent technology. We can actually give you the next level of granular segmentation. So what you're seeing here is we're giving you full segmentation and connectivity solution for making your cloud a zero trust environment, no north-south firewalls needed, no essentially direct connect needed, no express routes needed, and no east-west firewalls needed. That means a lot of simplicity. Now, as you do this, you're also able to simplify your infrastructure, your security environment. And that means you can get budget by eliminating a lot of stuff. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at what happens today. Today, your endpoint has a bunch of agents. And then your branches have a bunch of devices, firewall, north-south, east-west, NASDAQ, segmentation. Then you have a data center with a bunch of these boxes, your DMZ outbound, DMZ inbound, segmentation, NAC, and even VDIs. And many companies have regional hubs. They may be sitting in many locations. They essentially hold DMZ equipment, so traffic goes through them. And then you need to do something to secure your cloud and SaaS environment. There may be some virtual DMZ sitting out there. And then all this has to be connected. You probably have some MPLS network, you got some SD-WAN networks, and then you got some of these direct connects and express routes out there. With Zscaler's branch and cloud zero trust connectivity offering, a lot of this stuff can go away. Look at a bunch of X's I'm showing. All these security and networking gear can go away to bring simplicity and reduce cost. So what does this journey look like once you go through Zscaler? Much more simple, much more secure. You do not need to have a lot of these agents sitting on the endpoint because we take care of that. You do need two things on the endpoint, MDM and EDR. The branch becomes much simpler. As you can see, we have only one piece sitting there, Zscaler Edge. No firewalls, no branches, none of the other stuff needed. Firewalls and all go away. We also work with third parties. As we said, you do need identity. We integrate with the best of breed identity providers. And you need to feed logs to your security operations solutions. In addition to that, we got full solutions to secure your SaaS data. There may be a whole range of data protection solutions, ranging from CASB, SaaS security, and third-party risk, and also for securing your cloud infrastructure. We got very good zero trust segmentation, as well as solutions such as DSPM. What you're seeing in this diagram is working with a handful of partners. Zscaler provides you a complete solution where you don't have to deal with 30 different vendors, but a handful of vendors working together with Zscaler can give you something that's secure and simple, and it transforms your business. If you do this, you can remove a number of products. What I'm showing on this slide is all these things that can be taken out. And if you take them out, you end up actually saving a fair amount of money. Now, all this may not happen in 1 or 2 quarters. It may take a few quarters. But our team will work with you to help you quantify what can be removed and what time and what kind of savings can be achieved. I can assure you that the cost savings of taking a lot of this legacy stuff is very, very significant. Now, let me invite Naresh Kumar, our product leader, to give you a deeper view of our Zero Trust branch segmentation.
Thank you, Jay. Hi, everyone. I'm Naresh Kumar, VP and GM of Product Management here at Zscaler. Early this year, we launched our Zero Trust SD-WAN solution to eliminate the need for having a site-to-site VPN and provide customers with a product which will completely eliminate lateral threat movement, minimize the attack surface, reduce the cost and complexity involved in bringing more firewalls, NAC, VPN, and other type of devices to manage their network. Effectively, we helped customers to completely transform from their current hub and spoke architectures into a completely zero trust based architecture. There are about 120 plus customers today are in different stages of their deployment, and some are in very advanced stages of completely refreshing their deployment with Zero Trust SD-WAN solution. As we are talking about segmentation as one of the primary security tools to minimize the blast radius and reduce the lateral threat movement, the outcomes many customers were able to achieve with Zero Trust SD-WAN solution is no two sites can talk to each other. That means if you don't have a two sites or a site to data center directly talking to each other, that itself reduces the attack surface and prevents the lateral threat movement significantly. Let me talk a little bit about the capabilities we have as part of our Zscaler Edge Gateway. The Zscaler Edge Gateway is a true inline gateway with the capabilities around WAN monitoring and management, supporting dual ISP circuits, and not only just terminating the circuits, we monitor the latency, jitter, packet loss type of attributes of those links and switch the applications depending on the performance needs. This will enable customers to have a better and smooth experience for their users to make sure the connectivity is available all the time. Speaking of making the availability as all the time, high availability is one of the key functionality. We support all types of active-active and active standby type of capabilities so that customers can enforce those ACL policies, whether it is going from north to south or east to west. Not only that, we support a complete visibility of what the device is behind each and every IP address. Yes, each and every IP address, we will be able to tell you whether that IP address belongs to a coffee machine or a printer or camera. Not only that, on the LAN interface management, we understand the L3 and L2 constructs and provide a framework for you to create access control policies, DHCP server, and DNS server capabilities. This eliminates the need for having firewalls or MPLS circuits to reach your data centers. Let me talk about some of the popular use cases where we have seen significant adoption. A large global law firm with presence in over 40 countries have deployed and replaced their existing SD-WAN and refreshed with Zero Trust SD-WAN. They were able to save on MPLS. They were able to eliminate the need for a firewall at each of these branch office locations without having a need for any form of VPN. The second popular use case is merger and acquisition and integrations. Anytime a merger and acquisition happens, you oftentimes have to deal with overlapping IP addresses and some network complexity. You have to redesign your network. We have a large food distribution company and a large construction company. They were dealing with this challenge every year because they have about average 15 to 20 acquisitions, and these are small in nature. So with our solution, they were able to deploy these Zero Trust SD-WAN appliances in those acquired sites so that they can have the connectivity day one, day two, accessing those mission critical applications. This brought the whole deployment timeline or the need for connectivity applications from months and weeks into literally days. This was a huge benefit for many customers in our customer base today. And the third popular use case, especially in the manufacturing vertical or a vertical where they have to deal with a lot of OT networks, is about securing the third-party access into a critical asset in the plant, in the manufacturing plants or sites. And we have a very large pharmaceutical company who completely replaced their inbound access for third party with Zero Trust SD-WAN appliances, because each and every SD-WAN appliance has an inbuilt app connector which would enable a safe and secure zero trust access into those mission-critical applications. Now, I'm very excited to talk about our new innovations to further help our customers in most critical environments. We're working with a very large auto parts retail customer who have thousands of these retail locations across different parts of the country. And some of these locations do not have a very good internet connectivity. They have to rely on a 5G as a transport to connect to their data centers for those billing systems. So we are introducing two variants, ZT400 and ZT800, with an inbuilt 5G capability so that customers can deploy in those remote locations and tier 2 sites where they don't have a very good internet connectivity. Not only that, we have customers who want to take this appliance and capability into very large campus, a headquarters, or campus with more users and more machines. And oftentimes these sites need a high bandwidth connectivity into public clouds, into their data centers, or into the general internet. And we are very excited to talk about our new appliance, which can give a capability up to 5 Gbps of throughput. Now I would like to introduce my colleague Ritesh Agarwal to talk about the innovations in the device segmentation space.
Thanks, Naresh. Hi, folks. My name is Ritesh Agarwal. I'm the VP of Device Segmentation here at Zscaler, where we have pioneered zero trust segmentation for branches and campuses. I had the opportunity to speak to thousands of customers, and I made two key observations during my conversations. One, lateral threat movement is the biggest problem in the industry, and all the available solutions are really not helping our customers solve the key problems that they're facing. These solutions are either very outdated, using ACLs and NACs and other outdated technologies, or they require agents to be installed in every endpoint, which is not always feasible. The other observation I made is we don't see lateral threat movement in a telco subscriber network. For example, you may have two subscriptions of Android phones. If one of them is compromised, you don't have to worry about that threat propagating from one device to another device. This happens because the telco subscriber network folks have figured out zero trust before any of us did. And the way they achieve that is by putting every device in a network of its own. What device segmentation does is eliminates lateral threat movement, eliminates firewalls, which is a big problem for the industry. And it achieves this without having to make modifications to your existing infrastructure. You can continue to use your investment as you did before and still get the benefits. So you can finally say goodbye to segmentation projects that never finish. Let's talk into the details of how we implement device segmentation. So first thing first is you deploy Zscaler Edge appliance next to the core switch on a trunk port. Most typically, you deploy two of these for high availability purposes, and they act as active and hot standby pair. In order to configure and start operating Zscaler Edge appliance, all you do is shut down the SVI for the VLAN that you want to protect with Zscaler Edge. Once you shut down the SVI, Zscaler Edge device segmentation automatically takes over as a default gateway. Now, once it becomes a default gateway and it's sitting on the trunk port, let's talk about DHCP devices. When the devices renew their DHCP, the Zscaler appliance acts as a DHCP proxy, and then it's able to modify the net mask from whatever it was previously to all ones, or /32, or 255.255.255.255. And that's a profound change from a device perspective. While there is no change in IP address or no change in default gateway, your router, switch, and firewall configuration remain intact. All that is happening is the device is seeing a net mask that is different from what they saw before the implementation of Zscaler Edge. For static devices, we have automation scripts that allow you to automatically change the net mask of static devices. Note, there is no downtime, there is no session drop, so you can technically deploy Zscaler Edge without having to have a downtime for your factories, hospitals, campuses, corporate offices, branch offices. All of this can be implemented pretty quickly. Now, since we are seeing all of the traffic, we have the ability to profile these devices very clearly and group them into their types. So Android device group or printer group or Windows 95 device groups or Windows XP groups and so on and so forth. These groups are available for you and they're autonomously updated as you add or subtract devices from your network, and you're able to write policies based on these groups. So let's say you want to write a policy saying printers don't need to talk to cameras, or I do not want to permit RDP communication within my organization. You can do that. You can do that on a global basis, regional basis, or a local basis. All of that flexibility is available to you through a centralized management portal with complete role-based access control. So at the end, the benefit that you have is you're eliminating some of the expensive and complex components. You're getting segmentation finally done. So segment every IP device on your network, even legacy systems, OT devices, or IoT devices, and do it in a way that the project can be finished within a day. That's our promise. What we do is classify all these assets and neatly show it to you in a chart fashion and a table fashion as shown on the left-hand side. These charts are editable, so you feel free to modify it, but these groupings are really, really important for you. What excites our customers the most is the chart on the right. It shows you every traffic pattern within your organization, east-west or north-south, it doesn't matter. So for example, if somebody said that I couldn't print yesterday, all you do is put the printer MAC address, host name, IP address, or tag, or whatever associated with the printer in the search window, and that becomes the center of the universe on the right side. And then it'll show you these colorful arrows that mean something. So red arrow meaning we are dropping the packets, and you can click on the arrow and show you the policy that is dropping it. Green is allow policy, and black is default policy that you're executing. It's never been this easier to debug and troubleshoot your network, as easy as we make it with Zscaler. And then finally, a few use cases I want to quickly talk about. The automatic device discovery and classification is paramount for compliance reasons, for troubleshooting reasons, and most importantly, from security point of view. If you have rogue devices, if you have devices in the network that you don't know about, it's really important that you get an inventory of those. Being able to do segmentation without agents is really valuable. Many of the customers have environment with legacy operating systems, IoT devices, OT devices that cannot be retrofitted with agents. And so agentless segmentation is what you can achieve with Zscaler within hours. And finally, eliminating east-west firewalls and access control is really important to customers. These are attack surfaces and extremely complex technologies. Zscaler makes it easy for you to eliminate those technologies and take advantage of the segmentation capabilities of the solution. With that, I would like to invite Brian Lazier, who will talk about some of the innovations related to segmentation that we're bringing in for the cloud environment as well. And I thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ritesh. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Lazier, and I lead product management for this next section where we help customers referred to as Zero Trust Cloud. So we'll start with some of the top use cases that we help customers with today. One of them is referred to as multi-region. As customers land on a given cloud service provider, they typically extend very quickly to the other regions that provider supports. So we help customers segment and secure that traffic as it needs to connect across those different region locations. The other area that we focus on with customers is around cross-cloud. A lot of our customers are multi-cloud. They use one-to-many of the cloud providers, and they need to also connect those applications across those different environments in a secure, safe, and highly scalable way. And then the last area is around hybrid cloud. This is where customers maintain their on-premises data centers or colos, also known as private clouds, and connect those to their public cloud application environments. When we refer to this as firewall-free protections, we help customers eliminate the need for their traditional network firewalls. And by doing so, they can move much faster. They lower their cost and maintain the business of their operations. By doing so, they can leverage the Zscaler access policies, which can be as simple as single rules. And this creates a trust relationship between the applications that are running in these different locations. And they can do it as fine-grained as leveraging the user-defined tags that their teams use to describe those applications. Let's talk about some of the new innovations that are part of these use cases. I'll start with workload visibility. So we give customers the full view of all the different types of resources within their cloud region. This includes things like the VPCs, the VNets, the subnets, as well as the EC2s and the virtual machines in those locations. This is all done in real time. So the backend infrastructure that we use is a pub-sub architecture. So that allows customers to see those workloads as they build them and even deprecate them to have that real-time visibility. And that gives them good awareness of what's going on in their environment. The next area is around identity. We continue to work and improve this area as this is a key construct for Zero Trust. And one of the things I'll highlight here is that we now support user-defined tags and cloud-native attributes for Azure cloud environments. This joins our existing support with AWS. So now customers can take advantage of true cross-cloud policies using their cloud metadata. The last area I'll talk about is authentication. And this is another key construct for Zero Trust. We're working on a new capability that supports token-based approaches for workloads. And this gives customers fine-grained controls around a per workload or even session-based from a given workload tied to the token. So that gives them those fine-grained controls for authentication, especially for those applications that are egressing out of these environments. Let's dive deeper into use cases that are now within those cloud locations. So you can think of this as traffic that's within a region that never actually leaves that data center or that cloud region location. This is also referred to from customers as east-west use cases or lateral traffic. And there's a few areas that we're helping customers with. The two on the left reflect the ability to insert in the path between VPCs or VNets, or alternatively in the lower left, subnet to subnet in the same VPC or VNet. And this supports use cases where customers need to provide shared services to tenants in those regions, or customers may have multi-tier applications where they need to provide protections between those network kind of components. The upper right example reflects the ability for us to help them with tags where they don't have to have the constructs of the segments be bound to those subnets or VPCs or VNets. They can actually be true application-built groupings and segments. And then lastly, it's around process level controls, arguably some of the most fine-grained capabilities. And we're excited to announce as part of this capability is that we have a new product that we're announcing called Zscaler Microsegmentation. And this is a process-based visibility and control for customers using a new Zscaler agent that runs on top of the host, which is the VM or the EC2s. I'm going to cover 3 primary value points for our customers. And the first that I'll touch on here is around visibility. As you can imagine, there's lots of different workloads and traffic as you get closer into these environments. And there's lots of opportunity for lateral threats. We help expose all the microflows that are coming in and out of those workloads. This is at the process level. We also help identify those tied back to the customer's metadata, so they can associate those to their tags and those cloud-native attributes, so it's easy to operate. We also provide a dashboard that's inclusive into the cloud portal, so customers can see top N. So it tells them the top talkers based on applications, the traffic profiles like sessions, the durations, packet sizes, and a variety of other techniques that we plan to expose to customers. And this basically gives them enriched situational awareness to ultimately provide enforcement. So customers can now provide the protections in those traffic environments. And we're leveraging here what are well-known rules. These are considered layer 4 stateful rules that our customers are very familiar with, and these provide the protections at this process level. We also support scale. So this means that our agents that are running on your workloads can be used for crown jewel applications, which is a common use case for microsegmentation, but also can extend out from tens, hundreds, and even thousands of workloads in your environment. So you can extend your use cases as a result of that. The Zscaler agent that runs on these hosts is designed to ensure that customers maintain the performance of the application itself. So the agent is extremely lightweight. Even in enforcement mode, it's roughly less than 5% utilization. So we maximize the application performance in that sense. We also support a variety of Windows operating systems as well as Linux. And there's more to come here as we continue to expand the platform and support more operating systems. The last area I'll touch on is around automation. And we're providing upcoming soon capabilities where we can provide policy recommendation. So this will help streamline customer operations where we can recommend their segments. We can also recommend their policies. This will be referred to as the intelligence of segmentation. So this is an opportunity for us to further help customers with the speed of their business. All right. As a roll-up, I'm excited to highlight these 3 value points: the visibility, enforcement, as well as the intelligent segmentation, which is coming soon. And I want to highlight also our support. It'll be available now in AWS, as well as the private cloud locations, like your on-premises data center, as well as colo environments. And then coming soon, we'll be supporting the extensibility to other public cloud providers, such as Azure and Google Cloud. Then lastly, I'll wrap it together. I want to pull back in some of the more macro type use cases where we're helping customers across regions and clouds and also their hybrid environments, and then noting some of the innovations that we talked about before, and then looping that into the intra-cloud, the east-west use cases that we talked about using the new product, the Zscaler micro-segmentation, which provide those process-level controls. All right, thank you for your time. And customers, I look forward to working with you on your use cases. And with that said, let's hear from some of them now.
I'm Shankar Amrakhyani. I am Group CISO with India Infoline Group. With organizations like us who have a huge footprint on the cloud, it is very important to secure the workloads, the critical workloads which are on the cloud, right? From all kind of latest cyber security threats. So with the Zscaler micro-segmentation, right, we are able to contain the attacks, or we will be able to stop the infection, going from one system to another system. It gives us that time to ensure that should there be any zero-day attack or any large-scale cyber attack, the infection will not propagate to other systems. We embarked on our cloud journey many years back because we saw cloud will be the future of the technology. We believe in multi-cloud strategy as well as the hybrid cloud to secure every connection coming to our cloud gets verified. We have planning to implement micro-segmentation and other things. I can assure that there are adequate security controls implemented at every layer to ensure we are protected against the latest cyber security threats. Could be ransomware, could be malware, could be any kind of other infection coming to our network.
Segmentation is essential to factory security because of all the possibilities of misprovisioned access from the variants of the product, the IP devices that typically sit in the manufacturing environment. That risk is completely mitigated by the fact that Zscaler controls access by MAC address. And you can basically plug into any network switch connection, or for that matter, wirelessly, and it'll always get the same policy. With Zscaler, it has allowed us to reduce our risk footprint by reducing the potential for misconfigured access to the devices that sit on our manufacturing floor. That would be something that would be typically would happen in a traditional network VLAN environment. That doesn't happen when you deploy Zscaler. And I would say that the utilization of the platform in terms of segmenting assets can be done in minutes.
Today, you heard how Zscaler is enabling organizations like yours to embrace zero trust across users, branches, clouds, and devices directly, allowing you to simplify segmentation without traditional firewalls or VPNs. We hope you're as excited as we are about the potential of these new solutions to help you secure, simplify, and transform your organization with zero trust. But don't leave just yet. The technical breakouts are about to start, so you can dive deeper into these new solutions. You can also get more information about Zscaler's Zero Trust segmentation capabilities and today's innovations at zscaler.com/ZT-segmentation. Thank you for your time today, and I'll see you at the technical breakout sessions that start now.